Hello, welcome to the lectures desk. Get your medical thoughts cleared before you leave, and don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and turn on the notification bell.
Welcome to my YouTube channel once again. My name is Michael, can call me Mike. Please, if you are new here, kindly subscribe to the channel, and if you are old here, please get yourself a desk and let us continue. Today we are going to talk about intrinsic cardiac conduction. For our previous video, I made mention of the how the heart conducts its electrical impulse, the cell that involved, that is the nodal cells, each and every one, the SA node, the AV node, the Purkinje fibers, and the rest. I made mention of it, so you can see it over here. Okay, now we are going into detail for each of them. Now, if you take the nodal cells, the SA node, how does it generate its electrical impulse, and then how does it transmit it to the neighboring cells? Now, let's take this one to be our SA node, and this one to be our contractile cell, contractile cell. Now, we have in our SA node our contractile cell. Now, SA node, one thing is the SA node is not having like a standard like a resting membrane potential. Its resting membrane potential is not constant. You understand? So what happens is this SA node, instead of having the resting membrane potential for most of the cell having negative 90, it's having it from negative 55 to negative 60. That is where it has its resting membrane potential. Now, before that, let me talk about the resting membrane potential. What is it? The resting membrane potential is when you take a cell. Let's assume this is a cell. It's a measure of the electronegativity of the cell. The cell has so many ions, some outside, some inside, positive ions and negative ions. It's the measure of what? The electronegative of what? Of this cell. You understand? So let's say the cell is negative 90. The electronegative of this cell is to what? Maintain the negative 90 of this cell. That is what? Its resting membrane potential. Now, if the cell is able to maintain this, or the cell is unable to maintain this, that is why the cell gets what? Ions entering and what? Ions leaving what? The cell. These processes cause changing in what? The resting membrane potential. Now, we take the cell, potassium ions are abundant in the cell but low outside what? The cell. And then when you open the channels of these ions, the ion moves from a place where there's high concentration to a place where there's low concentration. That is like the law of diffusion. That's what they obey. Now, if you open this channel, it will move what? Outside the cell, creating more room for what? Electronegative what? Ions, electronegative what? Of the cell. Now, if you open the channels like sodium, the sodium is abundant outside the cell and small inside the cell, so it will obviously move from outside inside the cell and cause what? An increase in the electropositive what? Of the cell, thereby causing the cell to what? To depolarize. Now, this is what we are going to talk about. Now, if you take the SA node, one thing is it has a leaky channel. There's a leaky sodium channel. This is a sodium channel. This sodium channel is L-type. That is low sodium channel, L-type sodium channel. And this sodium channel is leaky. So we call it what? Funny channel. That's causing a funny current. You understand? Now, this channel, they are always open because it is leaky. And so something is leaky, it's always open to permit what? The inward or the influx of what? Of its positive ions inside what? The cell. This is the main reason why this cell is always under what? Under depolarization mode to generate action potential on its own without an external force. Now, when these channels are open or when these channels are leaking, we have positive ions entering what? The cell. That is the sodium ions entering what? The cell. And these sodium ions entering the cell, let's take the cell, our resting memory potential to be negative 60, because it can vary. Let's take it as negative 60. So negative 60 being our resting memory potential. When there's what influx of this funny channel of the sodium ions in the cell, it will what causes the what positivity, electropositive of the cell. The cell become electropositive some way, thereby bringing it up to this point, which is negative 40. At negative 40, it reaches its threshold, and that threshold causes this channel, the L-type calcium channel, to open. And this L-type calcium channel, when it opens, it will what causes what the generation of what action potential of the cell, because this is a calcium, this is influx of what calcium is abundant outside, so it will come inside. So influx of calcium, as more calcium come inside, the cell become more positive, more positive, more positive, more positive, more positive. As the cell become more positive, see the depolarization what will increase, and then we generate our action potential to be transmitted. So this is how it is. So at positive 40, this channel what closes. Do you understand? And then it paves way for the opening of a different channel. Now, as this cell generates action potential in here, what happens is the ions inside this cell that permit this cell to generate its action potential will then move to another cell. So through what I made mention from our previous video, through the gap junction. Okay, so when you take this, actually, this is our intercalated disc. The intercalated disc, it is what connects two cells, two cardiac cells together. And then inside this intercalated disc, we have this component which is called what? The desmosome. Where should I write it? Okay. The desmosome. The desmosome, what it does is it keeps the two cells in position. It holds. It's like it's holding the two cells. You understand? And put them in one position. And then the gap junction serves as a pathway, the communication between these two cells, where a cell which is what? Excited. Like, for example, at this point, the SA node has been excited. It has generated action potential. And this cell, after its excitation, its excitatory ions will move to the neighboring cell to cause it to also excite through the gap junction. This is our gap junction. So through the gap junction, these excitatory ions will move into the neighboring cell, which is the contractile cell. Now, in the contractile cell, when it comes, let's take the contractile cell, our resting memory potential to be our negative 90. So our negative 90, as the positive ions from this side enters, it move this one from negative 90 to negative 70, which is its threshold. When it gets to negative 70, it opens, it causes the sodium channel to open. That is the fast sodium channel. Please take note, this is fast sodium channel. This one was slow or low sodium channel. So the fast sodium channel will open. As the name implies, fast, they will fast inward of sodium or influx of sodium into into the contractile cell, and this will cause this one to move upward. You understand? And generating the action potential to be transmitted. So this is that. Now, after generating the action potential, we've generated the action potential and you are transmitted. Now, if you have any, if you be having a neighboring cell like this neighboring cell to this This excitatory ions over here will also move through the gap junction to the delivery cell so that they can all what? Get excited at the same time and then contract at the same time. Now, we've generated our action potential. How can we get back, or how can we get our resting memory potential back? You understand? Because we started from at the resting memory potential and we've generated our action potential. So after generating the action potential, the cell must also rest. So we must bring it back again. So bringing it back again, mind you, I made mention of inside the cell, there are more potassium ions. Potassium ions are abundant in there than the outside. So in here, there will be what? Opening of what? The potassium ions. When you want to bring it back, you open the potassium ions so that there will be what? More movement of positive ions inside to outside. So when you open the potassium ions in here, there will be what? Outflux of potassium ions. So as there's an outflux of potassium ions, the cell begin to what? Get its resting memory potential back. But at a certain point, this potassium channel does not close like at the same time. So what happens is it will cause what you call hyper despolarization. Hyper despolarization. So this hyper despolarization, then this cell, when it get to this place, no, it won't stay there. It doesn't rest. So what happened is, I made mention of this funny channel. This funny channel, it is what? Leaky. So at any time it will be leaking. So as we get the resting memory potential back, it will be still leaking, and then it will get to a threshold and then cause the L-type calcium channel to open. Then it will also what? Continue with the process. So this is the reason I say the nodal cells, they what? Can generate action potentials on their own. That is the result of automaticity of these cells. Now, let's come to these cells. This cell, when we reach when the sodium channel reach about positive 30, thereabout, it closes. When it closes, we open what? The potassium channel to bring the resting we bring the cell back to what? The resting memory potential. So what happens is, when you open the sodium, when you open the potassium channel will open in here. As it is bringing it back, we then open, this is our potassium channel, causing potassium what? To leave the cell. Then automatically we open another L-type calcium channel. So this L-type calcium channel also permits what? The movement of calcium inside. So as this is moving, this is also coming. So it creates a balance in there, and this causes what? A plateau in here. You understand? So this plateau is both sodium and calcium ions in there. So it lasts for about 0.03 or some small time. It's like it lasts for a very small time, and then it will close. The calcium, I'm talking about the calcium will close. So as the calcium closes, it will be left with only the potassium. Then potassium will get power. Now you are no more. Then it will boom, bring the cell back into its resting membrane potential. It will bring the cell back into its resting membrane potential. So this is how the whole process is. This it will be always generating its electrical impulse, because this one, when you bring it back, it will stay there unless there's an external signal that causes it to generate another action memory potential. But this one, no, because of the leaking sodium channel over there, and bring it back, it will leak and then bring it to positive positivity, which is negative 40. And when it reaches negative 40, it will get the calcium channel, calcium channel to open also. And when they open, it will continue, the process will continue. That's why the heart is always under contraction. The heart rate, it's always on, whether with the help of the autonomic nervous system or not. It is always generating its own action potential to be transmitted to cause it to contract. So this is the reason behind the automaticity. Do you understand? And this automaticity lead to the contractile cell to get also excited and then undergo the contraction. Do you understand? Now, this is basically that is that. So if you have another cell here, the process will continue, and then the cell can contract at the same time. And this is what we call the synchronous contraction. When all the cells in there contract at the same time, because they were all depolarized and got excited at the same time, so they did it together. Do you understand? Now, one last thing. The generation of this action potential in here is slower than this one. Why? Because these ions, they are low sodium, low calcium channel, low sodium, low calcium channels. So these, they are they come in small. But in here, this is fast, as I wrote it here, fast sodium channel. So the more sodium in here, boom, you get the generation for the action potential, more or less than this. So this generated at a faster rate than this, which is at a low rate. So basically, this is the intrinsic cardiac conduction that you must know. The details in around this one. Now, our next topic or our next video will be on the extrinsic one, where we talk about the effect of the nervous system acting on the heart and then changing the heart rate, whether to a faster one or to slow it down. So this is what we will talk about, and also I'll make video about how, when the contractile muscle get excited, how they can undergo contraction. That means I'll make videos on the cardiac contraction, so that you get the understanding very well. So that's it. So if you find this video very useful, please give me energy by subscribing to the channel, because the subscription is my ATP. You understand? And then like the video, share, and leave me a comment.